Hi, I'm irritatingness, and I run the Plebcraft Minecraft server. This video is going to go over every detail that you might need or want to know about the server, and also serves as a tutorial or reference of sorts for both new and veteran players alike. There'll be timestamps in the description below for various topics that you might care more or less about. So let's get right into it. At the most basic level, the server is vanilla survival with a handful of plugins. But everything you see on the server, including this spawn area, was built in survival. The main gameplay changing plugins are Towny, which we use for claiming land, mcMMO, PlebMode, which is a custom PvP implementation, and an economy plugin that's based on in-game diamonds, which I'll tell you a little bit more about later. So I'll go over each of the plugins, including all the custom ones in more detail, but let's go ahead and start with Towny. So Towny is a plugin that enables players to claim land to build without having to worry about other players griefing them. Towny has a lot of fantastic features, but for a new player, the most important of those features is likely creating a new town, which can be done by running the command /town new town name here. So, for example, that would create a town. I already have a town, so therefore it won't let me do it, but that's how you would do it. Before you run this command, though, you may want to find a location that you like first, so you don't have to move your town later, because where you run that command will be the first claim for your town. If you just want to quickly get away from the spawn area to settle down, there is a random teleport command that is pretty handy. To do that, just type /RTP, and it'll take you to a safe place. It gives you a 5-second warm-up to prevent you from trying to escape PvP with it. It should be noted that while you can do RTP to go anywhere in the overworld to claim land, you can also create towns and claim land in the nether, but not in the end. Once you've started your town, you can claim more land for your town in 16 by 16 chunks that are adjacent to your original claim with /town space claim. So, to see the boundary, you would look down at the bottom towards the health bar, and you'll see that I just stepped into wilderness from my town's silent forest. Once I'm in the wilderness, I can run /town space claim, and it'll be added to my town's claimed land. New towns by default can claim 12 16 by 16 chunks, but can earn more claims in various ways. First, you get 12 claims per person in your town, up to the 35 player town cap. Secondly, if your town is part of a nation, your town will get a bonus that scales with the size of the nation, for anywhere from 10 to 100 claims. Third, for each day that you vote on all 3 vote links, you'll earn a bonus claim for your town. This can be done by anyone in the town. And then fourth, finally, you can purchase bonus claims for your town with in-game diamonds using the /buyclaim command. Each claim costs 10 diamonds. While growing your town, it is likely that you'll want to keep town members and their loot safe, even from other residents of your town. This can be achieved by setting the plot for sale with the command /plot for sale. Once you've done this, you can have the person that you want to own the plot run /plot space claim, and then the plot will be theirs to use, and nobody else in the town should be able to access their loot in it, aside from the mayor of the town. I highly recommend that towns use this technique to allow their town to grow without having to worry too much about invading griefers. Plot management can also get much more fine-grained, but I will defer you to the Towny wiki for that, linked in the description below. The next plugin I'd like to go over is mcMMO. As implied by the name, mcMMO adds various MMO features to vanilla Minecraft, such as abilities and lovable skills. As you fight mobs, mine diamonds, or even just go fishing, you'll notice a bar at the top of your screen indicating a level and progress towards the next level. For example, as I mine here, you'll see that I have a mining level of 1498 and a little bit of progress towards the next level. Each skill has various perks that you'll unlock as you progress and can be seen by running a command equal to the name of the skill. For example, here's my /mining skill. It gives you a little bit of information about what the perks that I get and the progress towards the next rank that I have. There's a lot more to mcMMO, but I feel that it's best experienced in-game, and it's pretty self-explanatory, and you'll just see it happen naturally as you play the game. The next and final core gameplay feature people should be aware of when playing on Plebcraft is the PlebMode plugin. PlebMode is a custom plugin that allows players to opt out of PvP entirely should they choose to. By default, players are not in PlebMode, and their names will show above their heads on the tab list as red. You can see this here in the tab list now. Players in green are in PlebMode and cannot PvP or be attacked by other players even if they are not in PlebMode. To enable PlebMode, simply run the command /PlebMode to toggle it on or off. But be aware that the command does have a 10-minute cooldown and will not work if you're currently in combat until 15 seconds after the combat ends. Moving on to less gameplay changing features, there is also an economy in Plebcraft that is based on and linked to 1-to-1 with diamonds. This is achieved by combining the economy features in Essentials X and a custom plugin called VirtualDiamonds. The way this works is that any and all economy is generated by actual usable diamonds that can be stored in a virtual wallet and managed by the /diamonds command. For example, here's my /diamonds command. I have 1156 diamonds, and I can withdraw or deposit them at will. like so. Virtual diamonds, or your balance, can be used in player-managed ChestShops that can be placed inside player towns. There are a handful of player shops that I let people use in the spawn area, but players can create their own shopping towns as well. To create a chest shop, simply place a chest, and then put a sign on the chest with the following formatting. You're going to want to leave the first line blank, and then on the second line, you're going to want to put the amount of items that you're going to sell or buy at the time. And then on the third line, you're going to want to put the price, either that you're asking them to pay, or the price that you will pay for whatever you're buying from them. So in this example, I'm going to sell regular gold apples for 5 diamonds, or 5 economy balance. And then on the fourth line, I'm going to just leave a question mark, because when I right-click the sign with the item in hand, it'll automatically update with the item that I want. Then I just put the items in the chest, and people can buy them for 5 economy. It's important to note here that some people get confused by the B or S prefixes on chest shops. To remember how this works, simply think about it from the perspective of a player interacting with your shop. Do they want to buy items? If so, they're looking for a B. If they would like to sell items, they're looking for an S. So in my previous example, I said B, so a player would buy an apple from this chest. I also recommend that you put item frames above your shop with a preview of what the shop has to offer, as it's way faster than reading all the signs that are placed inside your shop. Another great plugin that Plebcraft has installed is DynMap. DynMap allows us to show a real-time view of the overworld like Google Maps in your browser. The DynMap for Plebcraft can be found on our website at plebcraft.net/DynMap. There are also some other small tweaks to be aware of in-game, such as when you kill the Ender Dragon, you will be rewarded with an Elytra. While we intend to occasionally prune and regenerate certain areas of the end, this should help reduce the frequency of which we need to do so. Another small but convenient feature is that only 33% of online players are required to sleep and advance the night. This is done by a plugin called Harbor, and like the rest of the non-custom plugins, will be linked in the description if you're interested. The final plugin I'll mention is CoreProtect. Now, CoreProtect allows us to restore or roll back any griefing incidents, but we want to use this in very limited scenarios. For the most part, with the tools that are provided to you by Towny, an individual player should be able to manage their claims appropriately and never need intervention from an admin. However, we will make case-by-case exemptions to remedy issues. I cannot stress this enough though, please properly set up your claims so that if you invite other players, this does not have to happen. It does take somebody's time and it should not be common. As mentioned previously with Towny, if you choose to vote for the Plebcraft server on the 3 links provided both in-game with the /vote command, or on our website, you will be rewarded in-game with a diamond per vote and a bonus claim for your town for every 3 votes. We appreciate any support you give for the server, and it certainly helps people find our community on those sites. Now, I'll get into some of the specifics of the actual server hardware and configurations. This section might be uninteresting to you, so feel free to skip it. Anyway, our server is hosted in Beauharnois, Canada. I probably butchered the pronunciation. Let me know if I was wrong. By OVH, and we have 64 gigabytes of error-correcting memory, 6 cores with 12 threads, and all clocked at 4.4 gigahertz. The network connection is gigabit, and we have some players that were playing from Australia and reported that they didn't have any lag either, which I thought was pretty good for being hosted in Canada. As part of the software that we're running Paper, a fork of the popular Spigot software based on Bucket. This choice gives us a lot of inherited performance improvements and exploit patches by default. Some of the things to note are of note from our configuration of Paper is that we have anti-X-ray enabled. I mean, having a diamond-based economy, this would be kind of bad if we didn't. TNT duping and other dupes are patched and disabled. All chunks are loaded and saved asynchronously to improve performance. All dropped items and EXP orbs are merged. Pretty common, but we do this. TNT explosions are also calculated with a better and more efficient formula. Cats don't block access to chests, which happens to also manually help performance. Who would have thought? And zero-tick farms are disabled. Aside from the Paper configurations, there are also a few default options that you might be interested in. So for our server, the difficulty is set to hard. The view distance is set to 16, but we actually get to 18 with the zero-tick distance from Paper. Mob caps are actually slightly increased from vanilla bucket configuration because we've yet to see any significant performance issues. This might change in the future. All of our network packet compression has been reduced from the threshold of 200 or 512 bits to 128 because we had the extra CPU time available. Next up, I'm going to go over a few key plugin configurations that might make a difference to some players on the server. So for Towny, the max players in a town is actually 35. You can also purchase up to an additional 500 claims for your town, though this number is not firm and likely to increase over time as towns get bigger. And most economy features are also disabled for Towny, such as taxes or town upkeep. This was a conscious decision to make sure that your town isn't a chore to maintain. A lot of servers leave this on to make sure that players are playing actively every day, but this shouldn't be a job. This is a game, and I think that we stick firmly by that. Now for Essentials, we don't use almost any of the features that Essentials provides, aside from the economy and the world spawn setting. This plugin is still super helpful for administration features, so we do keep it. Now for mcMMO, we use the paid for version of mcMMO and do receive updates frequently. We have chosen to stick to the legacy leveling and skill upgrade system, so a soft level cap is up to 1,000. These are all really what I think is necessary for this video, but I'm certainly open to other questions and will likely publish many of our configs on a wiki of sorts in the future on the plebcraft.net website. Finally, thanks for watching, and I hope this video either helped you in some way or at least introduced you to some of the cool plugins that some servers may use. If you've watched all the way through this video and you got to this point, that's some pretty serious dedication. Go ahead and leave me a comment so that I can know, just because I don't think anybody will. Anyway, please consider joining our Discord. The link will be in the description. Generally, I post patch notes and other server projects that I'm working on there, and it's a great way to communicate with me or other players. Thanks for watching.